Hey everyone, welcome back to my...
This device isn't set up yet. Download the Google Home app on a phone or tablet.
I should turn that off. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Rachel. Thank you for stopping by. So as you can see from the title, today's video is going to be all about life lessons that I learned in 2020. Now that we are over halfway into January 2021, I wanted to give 2020 one final send-off and just a little recap of the year, what I learned, and then after that hopefully never have to experience anything like that again. So I'm going to be talking to you guys about 20 lessons that I learned in 2020. I have them all written down on my little notepad here. I actually started writing this last year and I finished it about a few days ago, so I'm really excited to revisit everything that I've learned and share them with you guys. Before we get into the video, I just want to give you guys one little update. If you don't follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you might not have seen this, but I got a new piercing and I'm in love with it and I'm going to show you right now. I'm sorry if you guys don't like mouth piercings, but I got my tongue bone pierced. I'm sorry if that was really gross, but I love it. I've had it done for just over a week now and it's healing really great and I think it's super cute. Okay, so now let's get into the lessons of 2020. For some of these lessons, I might give you guys an example of where I personally learned this in 2020, but others are pretty self-explanatory, so not all of them will have a little backstory to them. So the first thing on my list is that there is always two sides to a story. I know, especially myself, I can get caught up on my personal experience when there's an issue and I am concerned mostly about myself, but I am trying to teach myself to always remember that there's always two sides and your side might be right for you but it might not be right for the other person. So just hearing the other person or other people out before you assume things or make any decisions, I think it's a good life lesson that I've learned is that there is always something that you don't know and that you're not aware of. So be cautious and don't make quick, snappy decisions without hearing the other person's side of the story. Number 2 is never make decisions when you are unhappy. And that kind of ties into the first thing that I learned in 2020. Making decisions when you are unhappy is not a good thing because they can be irrational and you might regret those decisions later in life. So just taking the time to process any issue or problem or news that you might have gotten and taking the time to actually think about it before you make any decisions is so healthy for you, and it is so much better than making quick decisions and regretting it later on. Number 3 is time will tell. So this is a very hard lesson that I had to learn in 2020. I personally struggle with staying in the moment and I think too much towards the future and I just can't deal with the unknown most of the time. But this lesson, time will tell, is a really big one. Wow, I'm getting emotional. It's a really big one that I had to learn in 2020. You just have to be patient and everything will eventually come out in the open, and I've had so many experiences with that in 2020, and although they sucked at the time, I am so grateful for those experiences because they made me who I am today, and I've definitely grown from each of those experiences too. Number 4 is there really are things you can't control. Again, that ties into time will tell. You just got to be patient. There really are things that you can't control, and that's a big lesson I had to learn. Like I said, I have a fear of the unknown. I don't like doing things without planning, and obviously one of the biggest lessons this year came from COVID and not being able to see Kevin. We have been separated all of COVID, and the last time I saw him was in February 2019 and it's now January 2021, so almost 2 years. But I really just had to learn that I can't control COVID and I can't control the fact that we aren't able to see each other. So it was really hard for me to accept that, but I did, and it actually makes the relationship better after we accepted that. So that was a big one this year. Number 5 is signs from the universe are real. So I don't know if you guys believe in signs from the universe or manifestation or things like that, but more so in 2020 I have started believing that signs from the universe really are real. I've had a few good ones last year that came up for me. So signs regarding my career and my relationship. I can't really name specific signs that I got, but I just know personally that this was so evident for me in 2020 that if I needed an answer, it would eventually come to me, and I am so thankful that I'm able to receive these messages, and I hope that you guys are too, because it's really great once your questions are answered. Number 6 is asking for help is okay. So my 2020 started off horribly. I was way too scared to talk to anyone about my problems or really open up about them to people, but once I started asking for help and support, I managed to get through the problem that I was experiencing. And if I hadn't asked for help, I don't think I would have done it as quickly or as efficiently, but asking for help really did help. Like, it made my situation so much better, and I don't regret asking for help. And I know a lot of people find that hard, but just know that most of the time it is a good thing to ask for help. Number 7 is ask for what you want. That was a really big one. I keep saying that all of these lessons were really big and really important to my life, but asking for what you want is so important. I didn't know this until 2020, and I'm so grateful that I got to experience positive reactions to asking for what I wanted. For example, I asked for help and I got it. I asked for a pay rise and I got it. Those are just 2 examples of what can happen if you truly ask for what you want. Most of the time, you will receive it, and if you don't, you will probably receive it later in life. If you continuously strive for what you want and you ask for it, it'll eventually come to you. Number 8 is trust your gut and your instincts. This one's pretty self-explanatory, but your gut and your instincts, they truly know when things are wrong, when things are good. I constantly have a battle between my instinct and my head. My head always tells me, no, that decision is not going to work out. What if this happens? What if that happens? But I always come back to how my heart feels and what my instincts are saying, and truly it has worked out for the better. So trust your instinct, it is most likely always right. Number 9 is love and kindness above all else. I just love this lesson because showing love and kindness to those who need it and to those who don't even need it because they have an abundance of it already, it just makes the world such a great place. So one thing I've been doing recently is telling people I love them more often, giving them hugs. I've been commenting on my friends' stuff. I've been liking every TikTok I see. I've been giving nice comments to random people I don't even know. From my experience, after saying something rude, I don't feel good afterwards. I have taken the time to really focus on being loving and kind to everyone that I meet, and it honestly, it lifts your soul. Like, you feel so good after you project love and kindness onto other people, and it's like a domino effect, because then they will go and project it onto other people and they'll give it back to you, and then it just makes your environment so healthy and so happy. Number 10 is everything happens for a reason and everything will work out. I've always known this life lesson, but in the spur of the moment, it's hard to kind of grasp this concept. Going back to 2020, I had a lot of bad experiences, and in the moment I was like, why is this happening to me? I don't see how this could ever be a positive thing. Why me? I just can't understand why I need to go through this. But now, being in 2021 and having gone through everything and healed from it for the most part, I can see why I needed to have these experiences, and I actually came out stronger on the other side. And not every situation has completely worked out. I'm still working through things that happened last year, but I do believe that they happened for a reason, and I'm really thankful that I am stronger now and I don't have to live through those anymore because they are done and we can move on. Number 11 is try not to be passive. I have definitely struggled with this throughout my life. I was very, very shy when I was probably starting high school, so around 13 years old, up until I was about 18, I would say. I was a very passive person. I didn't like confrontation, and I still don't. but especially last year and even the beginning of this year, I've learned that standing your ground is so important to get what you want. And that's another lesson I learned. Ask for what you want. Stand your ground. Don't be passive. Don't let people walk over you, because you will just feel like crap and you'll feel used, and it's not a great feeling. So speak up. Let your opinions be heard. Let your wants and needs be apparent to whom you're asking these from, and just don't let people walk over you, because it's not a nice feeling and you feel really small if that happens. And I was always scared of asking for too much or being too loud, but in reality it works out so much better for yourself, and you can be at peace with yourself and be confident and just be a boss ass bitch, basically. Number 12 is think before you speak. Another important lesson ties into lesson number 2, which was never make decisions when you're unhappy. Think before you speak. Allow yourself to process the situation or what someone's told you, and just really think about your response before you blurt it out. I've been in so many situations where I've just said things in the heat of the moment and I've regretted it pretty much instantly, and I think to myself, I should not have said that. So thinking before you speak will not only save you embarrassment and regret, it will make sure that you consider the other person or other people's needs before your own. And then you can kind of work out in your head, okay, how can I say this in a matter-of-fact way, but in a way that I won't regret saying later, you know? Because you don't want to tiptoe around what you need to say, but you also don't want to hurt someone's feelings. So thinking before you speak is super important. Number 13 is you are your harshest critic. This is so true. I am currently rebranding myself. I'm a graphic designer, if you guys don't know. I'm currently designing my own website, but when I tell you it has taken me forever, it's taken me forever. I took on a client and we designed a website within 6 days, and I've been working on my branding and creating the idea for my website since pretty much November, and it's still not done because I just think that everything I design is not good enough. It doesn't represent myself enough. But my mum has been telling me just to get something out there and you can refine it later. And I just reply, I can't do that, it has to be perfect. But in reality, there is no such thing as perfect. And you're always going to be evolving and changing and redesigning. So you really are your own harshest critic. A lot of people who look at my work love it and don't notice the mistakes or flaws that I see. So I'm taking this year to really know that it's okay to put out something that you don't think is 100% perfect, because in reality that's not possible, and you can always tweak things later, and most of the time people don't recognize the mistakes that you believe are there. Number 14 is clean space, clean mind. Wow. That is so important for me. As you guys can see, I'm in my new office right now. I haven't shown too much of it because I am going to be doing a whole renovation video and an office tour, but I didn't work in my office pretty much for 2 weeks after all the building work was done, just because there was still stuff everywhere. I hadn't completely moved in and there was sawdust and just dead bugs everywhere, and I just can't work in a messy environment. Same as my room. I have to pick up my room and make my bed every single day for me to be able to sit in there and do anything. I cannot work with mess. My desk is pretty messy right now off camera, so I'm definitely going to clean all of that up before I start editing this video. But having a clean space just allows for you to have a clean mind and just think clearer, and I found that my work is more efficiently done when I'm in a cleaner environment. Number 15 is be uniquely you. I'm sure most of you guys are already aware of this, but there is only one you. And I personally don't want to spend my life trying to be someone else. In regards to YouTube and similar careers, I see people trying to copy other creators because that's what works. That's what gets them views and they make money. But what they can't bring to the table is that they're not you. I've heard other people talking about like, oh, YouTube and Instagram are saturated markets. Like, it's hard for people to grow. Yes, but they're not you. You will always have something different to bring to the table. There's only one you. So why not spend your life just being yourself? It is too exhausting trying to copy other people's personalities or copy their mannerisms. So it's actually more beneficial for you to just be yourself and don't shy away. I definitely have gotten a little bit more comfortable talking to a camera than I was when I first started my YouTube channel, but I'm not afraid to say something wrong or act silly on camera. I did my first live stream. I was so nervous at the start of it, but towards the end I let my personality shine and I love being myself. So be uniquely you. Number 16, it may not apply to everyone, but it definitely applies to me. And the same thing for all of these lessons. I just want to let you guys know that these are my personal lessons, and if you don't resonate with them, that's completely fine. These are just what I personally feel like I learned in 2020, and I wanted to share them with you in case it helps you recognize things that you may have learned too. So number 16 is family is the most important thing. Again, this might not be true for some of you watching this, but for me, my family is so important to me. I've had, friends come and go and commitments not work out, but at the end of the day, my family is always there for me, and I never want to take that for granted. I just want to continue to make sure that they know they're loved by me and I really appreciate them, and that they're really important to me because they are the people I come home to at the end of a hard day. They're the people I see every morning when I wake up, and I just love them so much. Number 17 was very, very difficult for me to learn this year. I have been aware that I was doing this for the last probably 5 or 6 years, and I'm still struggling with it a little bit, but I'm definitely a lot better. It is don't put all of your eggs in one basket. So I started seeing a therapist in January, and she said this to me, and I was like, what are you talking about? So she really helped me recognize that if you put all of your eggs in one basket, if someone takes away that basket, you have no eggs left. You have nothing left of yourself to give to anything else. What that means is giving your all to a relationship or giving your all to one activity. If that gets taken away from you, you're gonna feel like there's nothing left. Being dependent on one person is not healthy. So you need to rely on yourself, because if that person leaves, then you're still gonna have yourself to rely on. If you've given all of yourself to one person and they leave, there's nothing left of you, and you will just feel like the end of the world. I'm getting really personal here, but it's the same thing doing an activity or relying on one particular coping mechanism. If that disappears, it's gonna shatter you. So having your eggs in different baskets, for example, if you have all your eggs in your boyfriend basket, it's not healthy. You need to have some in your friend's basket, in your parents' basket, in your sister's basket. You need to be allowing yourself to be present with different people, different experiences, and not giving your entire being to one thing, because if that disappears or ends, or for some reason you can't pursue that thing anymore, it's really gonna hurt and take a while to recollect those eggs. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, and you'll feel so good about it. Number 18 is to action your words. So many people just say they're going to do something or say that they're going to become this person, but they never actually do anything about it. And I'm taking that with me into 2021. I say I want to be consistent on YouTube, but I'm not. I post once a month. So I'm really excited about this video that I'm filming. It's my second video this month, so I'm already doing better than I was last year. So actioning your words is so important, because it not only allows other people to trust you, it allows you to trust yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, then you're never going to do anything about it. So action your words, please. It's so good when you actually follow through on something you said you were going to do. You feel just happiness and relief. So very important. Number 19 is something I'm still consistently learning, and that is life is short and time is valuable. I always have this thought in the back of my head, and I can see why I get upset on days I'm unproductive, because I feel like I could be using that time to be doing something, because time is valuable and you don't have so much time on this earth. I want to experience so many things, and I want to be successful and pursue so many things. So I'm at a constant battle between that and knowing when to rest. Rest days are 100% okay. It doesn't matter if you have a whole rest week. I've given myself one of those before. did nothing. But the important thing is you want to have a balance between resting is okay, but time is valuable. So go after your goals, go after your dreams, get a new piercing, dye your hair, just do anything that makes you happy. Time is valuable, life is short, and it's also very important to live in the moment. Again, I am still learning that. I still like to project myself into the future and think about it often, but living in the moment is so important if you want to get the most out of your life. This reminds me of a really good video I watched yesterday by Vsauce. I'll link it down below. It talks about concept of time and how things feel closer or further away than we remember them to be. But I found it really interesting, and if you're into sciencey stuff like that, I'll link it down below. And the final lesson that I learned in 2020 is the universe gives you what you ask for. That does go back to number 7 being ask for what you want, and also number 5 that signs of the universe are real. But number 20 is honestly just about the universe will eventually give you what you ask for. If you're scared to make a decision, think about it, ask it out loud, and a sign will come to you. Again, if you believe in that kind of stuff. I'll give you guys an example. For me personally, I wanted to become a freelancer and I was terrified to quit my job, but I kept saying sign after sign and positive affirmation after affirmation, and I eventually had the opportunity to quit my job, and I am doing alright. I wouldn't lie and say I'm doing perfect, but I just feel so much better spiritually and mentally and physically freelancing instead of working full time. So I was asking the universe for a sign, please tell me that I'm making the right decision, and it gave it to me, and I 100% made the right decision. I love what I'm doing now, and I truly do believe that if you use affirmations every day, do your gratitudes, manifest things, that they will eventually come to you. And if you're interested in getting into manifestation and affirmations, I 100% would look into it. I don't really know too much about it, but there are a lot of podcasts and YouTube videos on that kind of stuff, and it's just such a magical thing to believe in. And yeah, if you guys believe in that kind of stuff too, leave a comment down below and tell me about your experiences with manifestation. I would love to hear it. I will definitely be doing more of that this year. So guys, that is my whole list of things that I learned in 2020. I have most definitely learned more things than just 20 of them, but those were pretty much the main ones that I wanted to share with you all. I'm so happy that from here I can just move on from 2020 and make 2021 the year of my dreams. I have so much I want to accomplish this year, and I really hope that this video has helped you recognize things in your life or inspired you to do more or less, and I hope it spoke to you. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you would like to. I would love to build my community on here in 2021. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is rachbeandes. I also have a podcast called Nothing But Us Podcast, and I will leave the links to the episodes and our Instagram, etc. down below. If you have any recommendations for YouTube videos you want to see from me in the future, you can leave a comment down below, you can DM me, you can tweet me, anything you feel like. Tell me in person if you see me. But thank you guys again for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!